Welcome into February, everyone. We're now ready to start planting our cotton seeds. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Weather's looking pretty good the rest of the afternoon, so we won't have any issues getting our fields planted. We're going to start in our smallest field first because it does not need any fertilizer. So I didn't put any fertilizer in the planter. That way we're not wasting it on that field for no reason. So once it's planted, we'll load up with fertilizer and hit the rest of our fields. Yeah, I'm very excited to start this new journey into our cotton empire. Not sure if it'll be much of an empire, but we're sure going to give her a try anyway. So we'll go ahead, get this thing fired up, get it drug over to our small field, and get started. Now, as small as this field is, it is not going to take very long. Just a few passes and this thing will be done. Honestly, this planter's probably a little too big for this field, but we're going to have to make it work. So we'll get the planter all folded out. We'll get our steering assist going here. We can get to planting. I'm pretty excited about this, to be honest. I only ever really did cotton once on FS22. Never did it. And I haven't done it once here in FS25. This is going to be my first go around with cotton, so I'm hoping this works out. I'm hoping we can make lots and lots of money and build one really, truly beautiful farmstead here. Alright, this field is fully planted. We did not go through much seed, so we're definitely going to have plenty of seed to return back to the co-op, which is fine by me. That means we'll get some money back. But we'll head to the next field here, get folded out, and then I'll bring the pickup over with the liquid fertilizer. That way we can load up and start fertilizing as we're planting for the next two fields and that little patch right across the river here. Alright, we'll get this loaded up here, and then we can start planting this field. Thankfully, it loads directly out of the pickup, which is very, very nice. And apparently holds more liquid fertilizer than I thought. That's probably not good. Probably means we're going to have to run back to town and get some more liquid fertilizer. We'll see how this goes, but I'm guessing that we'll probably be spending some more money on some liquid fertilizer yet. Alright, we got to fire it up, drop it down. And we'll get to planting this field. This one will take a little bit longer than the last one, but it still shouldn't take too long. This planter covers a lot of acres pretty fast. Alright, we have field number 2 planted, and we did not go through as much liquid fertilizer as I thought we would, so we might be sitting just fine. So we'll head over here, we'll do that small patch first, and then we can head into the old grass field and get that planted, and we'll be done planting our cotton. And I'm very excited and very nervous about this new adventure we're going down. I genuinely don't know anything about cotton, and so this is probably not going to be the most realistic cotton farming you've ever seen, that's for sure, but we're going to make a good go of it. And I know there's definitely the potential to make a, ridiculous amount of money doing this, but I don't know if I know enough to get it done correctly. Alright, fired up, drop down, and we'll get to planting here. Well, this little patch won't take too long either, and then we can move on to the big grass field. Alright, and this little patch is already done. Didn't take very long at all. So I have no idea what we're going to get for yield or amount of bales or, anything here. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. So we're going to get lined up here, and we're going to get started on this last big field. Looks like I should have plenty of seed and also fertilizer here. So we'll get her dropped down. And I'll get this field planted, and I'll see you guys when we get it done here. So it worked in the grass field, but yeah, we're evidently not done fertilizing. That's all right. So we're gonna have to do some more fertilizing yet this year. And when the weeds start growing, we'll have to get those sprayed, but there's no weeds growing in February. So we'll get this tractor and planter cleaned up, put away, and with that, our first cotton planting is finished. So we'll get this thing folded up. And while we're doing that, take a look at our soil composition. You can see we're not sitting great. Interesting. Oh, we put down a bunch of liquid fertilizer, but it didn't work on this field or this small little patch here. That's interesting. And I'll try and figure out why we wasted half of our fertilizer here. Yeah, I don't need that to be happening anymore. But we are officially done planting for this year. So we need to figure out a sprayer, because I really don't want to pay the co-op to spray my fields this year. But we might not have a choice. As you can see, we're down to 255,000, and we need over 400,000 in order to buy our harvester. So we're definitely going to need to figure out, our money situation here and do whatever we can to save money and also increase yield. So I'll catch up to you guys when we're ready to start spraying. Well, it's March, about 10 a.m., and we're down to 106,000. Boom. Bought a John Deere sprayer. And we also bought herbicide, and I unloaded the planter, got all the seed taken back, and got some money back for it. And I kept the liquid fertilizer because we're going to put that into the sprayer this month and spray the fields. And hopefully that small little patch and the big field will now be up to 100% fertilized. We do need to get to spraying our herbicide because we do have weeds growing. So that's what we're going to take care of first. And hopefully everything works out well. I have no idea how we're going to buy a harvester. These soybeans better sell for a just insane amount of money. Otherwise, not sure what we're going to do. But for now, we'll go ahead and jump in the John Deere sprayer here. Bought it used. Got a pretty decent price on it. Fairly happy with it. So we'll pull up to the shed here and start loading up our herbicide, and we'll go over all of our fields with the herbicide first, and then I'll spray the fertilizer after. Now, unfortunately, this sprayer does not have spot and spray on it, so we're going to be using a lot of herbicide here to get this field sprayed, but at least we can spray our own fields. I do think long term this is a good investment. Short term, well, it may have bankrupted us, to be completely honest. We'll just have to see moving forward here. Alright, and this little field is done. Doesn't take much to get these fields sprayed with a sprayer that is this big. So that part is, super handy. Cover a lot of acres very quickly with this machine. Worst part is the folding and unfolding takes a bit. So we'll have to make 2 passes in this field, 1 pass of herbicide and 1 pass of fertilizer. Alright, this field's done. We'll move to the little patch and then into our big field on the other side of the creek here. And we're going to be cutting it close on this herbicide. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough or not. We might run out. It's going to be very, very close. Alright, well, we got a couple passes left in this field, and we're out of herbicide. And by a couple, I think, yeah, we got 2. So we got 2 passes left, and we're out of herbicide, so I'm going to park this up here by the driveway. Shut that off, and I'm going to run back to the pickup, and we're going to run to town and get another tote of herbicide, and I think I might get another tote of fertilizer just to make sure that I absolutely have enough fertilizer on hand. I don't need to run short again and run to town again. So we'll run to town, get that stuff picked up, and get back to spraying. Alright, we're done spraying our herbicide. So we went through a little over 2,400 liters of herbicide to spray all of our fields. So we'll have to remember that for next year to make sure we have enough on hand. And boy, is money disappearing at a very, very quick rate here. Would I have been better off just renting a sprayer? Probably. Do I feel like that was the right move? No. I think this works just fine. And my herbicides changed brands. Isn't that interesting? You buy a helm, you unload it, and all of a sudden it becomes Corteva. Interesting. So we'll load up with our fertilizer here. And go and spray our that little patch and the one big field, and everything will be fully fertilized. Everything will be covered with herbicide, so we shouldn't have any weed problems. And we'll check and see what our yields are looking like. And hopefully we're getting, you know, some pretty big yields here. All right, as you can see, we're getting a 97% yield bonus here. And we're getting 97% yield bonus over here. So that's absolutely fantastic. That means we're going to get big yields out of this side of the river. Now we'll move over to our big field, get it fertilized, and we can check the yield on it and the small field on this side of the creek. So before we do our passive fertilizer here, you can see we're going to get a 75% yield bonus. And this should, I'm hoping, bump up to the 97% that the other two fields are on the other side of the creek here. Alright, so this field is now at 97% yield bonus, 100% fertilized. Still showing it's only 8.8 acres, but we know it's bigger than that because I expanded it quite a bit. So we'll head over to our last field, take a gander at it, make sure it's sitting where the other fields are, and this field is also sitting at 97% yield bonus, so that is absolutely fantastic. It'd be nice if the rows actually followed, you know, the direction I planted, but, you know, hey, can't get too picky, I guess. So we'll take the sprayer back into the main yard here, get it cleaned up, get it put away as we're done with it for this year. With us being this low on money, I might try and pick up a spraying contract or two, just in case. But we'll see how this goes here. All right, well, our sprayer's all washed up and put away, so I will see you guys in, I think it's June or July, whichever month we're selling soybeans. All right, it is June, and it is time to get our soybeans sold. So we'll take this load into the Farmville co-op here, get these soybeans sold off, come back, get the other truckload of soybeans, and let's hope to God we have enough money to buy a cotton harvester, because boy, oh boy, do we need it. If we don't end up having enough money, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be completely honest. But we'll get this run into town here and see what we get for our first load of soybeans. All right, we got just shy of $75,000 for our first load of soybeans. That is not going to be enough for us to buy a cotton harvester. So we'll get a little bit more with the next load because it'll be a full load. That one was just a little short, but we're still going to be very short. So hopefully we can find a used one, you know, that maybe has really high hours that's dirt cheap, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. All right, we're loading up with our soybeans. As soon as we're done loading here, I'm going to go ahead and sell off this silo because we don't need it anymore. And we can get a little bit of money for it, which we definitely need. So we'll go into construction mode. Sell that. We got 4,800 bucks. Not much, but it's better than nothing. So we'll run this back to the co-op here, get it sold off, and then we'll also sell. I'll also take this truck to the dealer and get it sold off because we no longer need a grain truck. All right, we got almost 79,000 for that one. So we're at $243,000. That's over $200,000 short of buying a brand new cotton harvester. So yeah, not sure what we're gonna do. Oop, I need to turn around. Oh God, hold on. Well, that wasn't good, considering I'm trying to turn around and head back to the dealership here to get this thing sold off, but luckily it doesn't look like there's any damage, so maybe they won't notice. Alright, we're looking at just shy of $11,000 right now. We'll repaint it. That added a lot of money. Repair for $1. That added $2. So $11,373. Sell that off, yes. Alright, we're at $254,000. So I'm going to run inside here, talk to the salesman, and see what we can do about finding a harvester. Alright, welcome into October, everyone. Our cotton is ready to be harvested, and as you can see, our farmyard has changed a bit here. I took down 2 of the old buildings and put up this nice new shop. So we did end up picking up a cotton harvester. We got the Case IH Module Express 635, and as you can see down in the corner there, we financed it. So I financed it for 2 years. We've already made 4 months of payments. You can see our payments are almost $15,000 a month. We still owe almost $300,000 on the machine, and we haven't used it at all. Now, for some reason, I bought it used. It's supposed to have 41 hours on it, but when I was driving it back, I saw it, it's showing 0 hours, and I don't know why. But regardless, it's ready to go, so our cotton is ready to go, the machine is ready to go. So we will head over here. We're going to go across the creek here and start out in that small patch. Get this thing, you know, figured out. Not entirely sure how this is going to go. Like I said earlier, cotton's not something I've really ever done, so I don't know what to expect. But we're going to get our steering assist. It's showing 2 headlands. I like that. We'll get the machine unfolded here. Alright, so I went ahead and turned on my help window here, since I'm super unfamiliar with this machine. And it looks like it has an automatic drop to it. I don't see a way to change the bale size, but it does have a bale counter, which is nice. So we'll get this thing fired up. Okay, so it's dropped down. And we'll see how this goes. So I guess, honestly, I don't even know how big of a bale this thing's going to make. I know the cotton bales are pretty big, but I don't know how big they actually are. But we're rocking at what looks like 6 miles an hour. Set my cruise. Jump in cab. So that's an interesting look in here. I actually kind of like this harvester from the in-cab view. So we'll get this little field here knocked out and see what, see what we end up with here. I'll be interested to see when we drop our first bale how big the bale is and how many liters it actually holds. Looks like it's going to be quite a bit. We're already over 1,000 liters and we're only at a 5% bale. Alright, we have this little patch is done. We've got 40% of a bale and it's 8,000 liters. These bales are going to be gigantic. Alright, so we'll get that dropped down and we will get started into this big field. I got a feeling this one's going to take a minute. Now this machine's pretty cool. It pretty much turns on a dime. So we don't need to make, 3 or 4 or 5 headland passes. 2 headland passes is more than enough for this machine to get turned around, which is fantastic. Now the only problem is it's only 6 meters wide and it only runs at 6 miles an hour. So this is going to take a very, very long time for our first harvest. But if we make enough money, if I could get 3, 4 machines all rolling at once, we could cover a lot of ground really fast. But I don't know if this is actually going to pay out the way I'm hoping. I'm kind of winging it here. Not really sure what to think or what to expect. I'm just hoping that this works out and we don't go bankrupt. Alright, we're coming up on finishing our first bale. Looks like they're going to be 20,000 liter bales. And we've covered a lot of ground to get this first bale. So I'm not sure where we're actually sitting here. So we better back it up so we don't run over any of the unharvested cotton. But there is our first cotton bale. Alright, harvest is officially over. We've got 6 cotton bales and almost 2 tanks of fuel. Oh my goodness, this thing really drinks through the fuel. My goodness. But we're done, so I'm very happy with that. 6 bales is more than I thought after the first little patch that we did. And yeah, that's the second time we've fueled up. For this harvest. So these machines absolutely love their fuel. My goodness. Wasn't expecting that. But we'll get this thing put away in the shop here. And then we can get our tractor out and get our 6 bales picked up and put away. Alright, so this side of the creek gave us 2 cotton bales and the other side gave us 4. Well, I definitely like this bale spear. It's a lot easier to see from in the cab, so I can't complain about that at all. Alright, and that is all 6 of our bales put away here. Alright, so as I get the fertilizer spread here, it took us, about 4 hours to get all of our fields harvested here, so that took a significant amount of time. That's something I want to upgrade for sure. Now, I have no idea what we're actually going to end up with for profit here this fall. It should be pretty good. The only thing is, we have, almost $30,000 a month going out the door in payments between our mortgage and the payment on the cotton machine. So that $80,000 that we currently have is going to disappear very quickly. All right, well, we got all of our fields fertilized, so we're done with all of our fall fertilizer. We're done with harvest. So we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. So if you guys like what you're seeing, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in the next one.